The rebirth of favorite mugs. Rosie was always full of energy. Whether she was solving a complex math problem, organizing a treasure hunt in the backyard, or helping her mom in the kitchen, there was never a dull moment when she was around. At 12 years old, Rosie had a natural curiosity and a love for creative problem-solving. She often came up with ideas that seemed simple but were always full of charm and cleverness. One afternoon, as Rosie was helping her mom prepare dinner, she noticed something unusual in the corner of the kitchen counter. Her mom was busy chopping vegetables, humming along to a song on the radio. Rosie, though in the middle of stirring the soup, couldn't resist investigating the oddity she spotted. There, tucked behind a stack of plates, was a cracked coffee mug. The mug was her dad's, his favorite, the one he always used for his morning coffee. Rosie picked it up gently, running her fingers along the crack. It had been through so many mornings of coffee breaks with her dad. It had witnessed countless quiet moments at the kitchen table, with her dad sipping his coffee, reading the newspaper, or just lost in thought. But now, the mug seemed damaged and useless. "Mom, what happened to this mug?" Rosie asked, her voice tinged with concern as she inspected the crack. Her mom glanced over and gave a small sigh, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "Oh, that mug. It fell off the counter last week. I've been meaning to throw it away. It's too cracked to be used for coffee anymore." Rosie frowned, her eyes locking onto the mug. It was her dad's favorite. It had memories attached to it. Surely there had to be a way to save it. "Can't we reuse it? Maybe fix it somehow?" Rosie asked, looking at her mom with a hopeful expression. Her mom shook her head slightly, a soft smile on her face. "There are a few more like it. Some of your dad's old mugs are cracked too. I guess it's time to say goodbye to them." Rosie's mind started buzzing with ideas. She wasn't one to give up on something so easily. What if, instead of throwing the mugs away, they could be given a new purpose? "Mom, what if we didn't throw them away? What if we turned them into something else?" Rosie suggested eagerly. Her mom looked at her curiously. "What do you mean?" Rosie's eyes sparkled with excitement. "What if we paint them, cover up the cracks with designs, and turn them into little planters? We could plant flowers or herbs inside them. It would be like giving the mugs a second life." Her mom paused for a moment, considering the idea. Then she smiled, a little laugh escaping her. "You know, that sounds like a fun idea. We could definitely give it a try. But we'll need some supplies: paint, soil, and some plants." Rosie's heart leapt. "Great. I'll get started right away." The next afternoon after school, Rosie and her mom set up a little crafting station on the kitchen table. They gathered the cracked mugs and laid out newspaper to cover the table. Rosie picked out a bright blue paint, and her mom chose a soft green. They had several different colors of paint, along with a variety of brushes. Rosie, who had a talent for drawing and painting, couldn't wait to get started. They spent hours together, carefully painting the mugs, transforming them from dull and cracked to colorful and unique. Rosie added polka dots and stripes to one, while her mom decorated another with swirling vines and delicate flowers. They both laughed as the paint splattered, making it feel like a joyful, creative mess. Every time they covered a crack with a new design, the mugs started to look more like beautiful works of art. Once the paint had dried, Rosie carefully scooped soil into each mug, making sure not to disturb the paint. They picked out small plants, succulents, tiny flowers, and some herbs like basil and mint. Rosie had always loved plants and thought they would add a refreshing touch to the kitchen. She and her mom planted the little seedlings in the mugs, watering them gently. Over the next week, Rosie kept a close eye on the mugs, making sure the plants had enough sunlight and water. Each day, she would check on them, excited to see tiny green sprouts poking out from the soil. Her dad's favorite mug, the one with the crack that had started it all, had a small succulent growing inside it. Rosie took extra care of it, determined to make it thrive. As the plants grew, Rosie decided it was time for a special surprise. Her dad's birthday was coming up, and she knew that he would be so happy to see the mug transformed. On the morning of his birthday, Rosie carefully placed the plant-filled mug, now blooming with life, on the kitchen counter. Her dad walked in, rubbing his eyes and stretching. When he saw the mug, his face lit up in surprise. "What's this, Rosie?" he asked, kneeling down to get a closer look. "I turned your favorite coffee mug into a plant pot," Rosie said proudly, her voice full of excitement. "I painted it and planted a little succulent in it. It's your birthday gift." Her dad's eyes widened in amazement. He gently picked up the mug and ran his fingers over the painted designs. The crack was still there, but it no longer mattered. The mug was beautiful, and the plant inside it looked healthy and vibrant. "Rosie, this is incredible," her dad said, a soft smile spreading across his face. "You've turned something old and broken into something so beautiful. I love it. It's the perfect gift." Her mom, who had been watching from the doorway, smiled warmly. "You've done such a wonderful job, Rosie. I'm so proud of you. These mugs, they've all been given a second chance, just like your dad's favorite one." Rosie beamed. She felt a warmth spread through her chest. It wasn't just the pride of completing a project or the praise from her parents. It was the knowledge that she had made something special. She had taken something broken and turned it into something meaningful. After her dad's birthday, Rosie continued to decorate the kitchen and the house with the painted mugs. Each mug was a little reminder of how things could always be repurposed, how creativity could turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. She placed them along the windowsills, in the corners of the kitchen, and on the dining table. Every time her parents walked into the kitchen, they would smile at the vibrant, plant-filled mugs. Her dad would often comment, "I never imagined my old mugs could look so good." And every time, Rosie would smile, knowing that the mugs weren't just decoration. They were symbols of love, creativity, and second chances. One afternoon, as Rosie was tending to her growing plants, her mom came over and hugged her tightly. "Rosie, you've done something truly amazing. You've turned this house into a place full of life, love, and color. Your dad and I are so proud of you." Rosie looked around at the colorful mugs and the growing plants. "Thanks, Mom. It feels good to see something broken become something beautiful." Her dad walked over and gave her a hug as well. "You've shown us that nothing is ever truly broken, Rosie. You've given these mugs and this house a new life." Rosie smiled, feeling like the luckiest daughter in the world. The kitchen, once just a place for meals, had now become a space full of creativity, warmth, and new beginnings. And all it took was a cracked mug, a little paint, and a lot of love.